Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about testosterone supplementation. This is such a hot topic right now, and I wanted to get my testosterone tested, which I've never done before, and then just talk about what those results will mean for me. I have very, very specific feelings toward testosterone supplementation. We're gonna get into that, but before we do that, I just wanna figure out how to test it and see what my results are. Let's jump into it. So I've looked into a couple of different options of how to test your testosterone levels. And you could obviously do this with your doctor. Most likely that would not be covered by insurance. The at-home tests are not going to be nearly as accurate. And for our purposes today, I think that's okay, getting a ballpark range. But doing some research, it looked like Roman is the most reputable of the companies doing at-home testosterone testing. So let's check them out. It looks like it is $69, free shipping, great. And it looks like you will get your test in 2 to 5 days. You'll do 2 blood samples on different days before 10 a.m. because that's when your testosterone levels are going to be the highest. And then you will send your results back, and then you'll get the information about your testosterone levels. And then with Roman specifically, depending upon where those levels fall, you could potentially get testosterone supplementation. So let's do the thing. Step-by-step video, healthcare professional review, usually within 24 hours. Wild. Not serving people in my state? What do you mean? Oh, apparently I can't do it in New York. So that is wild. Let's see if any of the other companies let you. That's weird. I'm surprised that the state of New York doesn't allow at-home tests. Okay, so we're not gonna do Roman. We're gonna do Let's Get Checked. Hopefully that worked. Okay, Let's Get Checked is interesting. Lots of sexual health tests. I wonder if you can get treated for them on here too. We're gonna look at testosterone tests. Yeah, so this looks very similar to Roman. Looks like we'll collect our sample, review the accurate results, and then we'll get medical support. I'm excited. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, my testosterone test from Let's Get Checked just got here. I'm a little nervous. I feel like I'm gonna have to give blood or something. I think you do, so let's do it. Okay, here we go. I think I have to do this right away in the morning. Ugh, why do I keep on doing this? In the morning, Monday through Friday, and return on the same day. Guess I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Great. Okay, this is where we're at. I was supposed to wait until the morning to collect the sample, so I'm doing it now. It's like 8 o'clock, and I activated my kit. I took a shower, I washed my hands. I'm supposed to open the blood collection tube, which is this little tube. And then I'm supposed to select my 4th finger for collection. I think I'm gonna have Jared help me. It's not that I don't like blood, I'm okay with blood, but one time I cut my finger cutting an avocado and I just passed out right in my sink. I'm just it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Clean your finger with the alcohol swab. This alcohol swab really does make you feel like you're at the doctor. Oh, I push into it and that will release the little needle. Oh, I'm anxious. Why? Got a little gauze because you're supposed to wipe away the first drop of blood and then you can use the blood after that. Make sure it's not contaminated. Okay, it's a good thing you wanted to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that you just press down on here. But do you want to read the instructions? Yeah, you're a big instructions guy. So
press down firmly until you hear it click.
And then after piercing the skin, a small drop of blood will form. Are you nervous about this?
No.
Are you gonna pass out?
No, I don't pass out. After piercing the skin, a small drop of blood will form. Wipe away the first drop of blood with the gauze provided. Thank you. And ensure your hand and arm are angled downwards. Yeah. Firmly massage your hand and fingertip to form new droplets of blood. Fill to the top line marked on the side of the tube. Okay, ready?
I guess so.
Which one? The ring finger?
It's supposed to be that one, yeah, the 4th finger. You're nervous now?
No.
You're nervous.
3, 2, 1.
I didn't like it.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. Wait, it says that I should massage the hand.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Did I get any blood yet?
1 drop.
How many drops do you think I'm gonna need?
A lot.
Oh no. I just got my test results back for testosterone. So we're gonna check them out. Results. Okay, here we go. Male hormone test. Okay, testosterone check. Testosterone is normal. Okay, let's look at this. So consultations available for your testosterone check result. Better understand your results. Get a virtual consultation. I wonder how that works. Oh, it's those $39. I don't need to do that. I think I'm good. Okay, so I could repeat this test or download the lab result. I guess I will download it. View lab report. Okay. So here we go. Looks like I have a testosterone of 435, and the reference range, which would be the normal range, is anywhere between 249 and 836. So I'm just about average, a little under average, I would say, but anything within that reference range is really just fine. One thing that we've been talking about a lot in Pridefit lately is this whole idea of worried well, where we look at getting our blood work done or anything like that, and we're trying to get this like optimal number. But it's really important for us to think about those reference ranges are all optimal, right? There's no point in really trying to get that like last 1% better with these ranges because they're all normal and there's really nothing to chase. You're kind of chasing something that's futile. So as long as your testosterone is in this normal range, you really have nothing to worry about. But let's get into why people want to test their testosterone and why people may want to supplement their testosterone. Your testosterone ranges are going to vary depending upon how old you are because your testosterone naturally decreases as you get older. So that's where it says between 20 and 49, there's that range of 249 to 836. And that range is going to widen a little bit when you are over 50. So testosterone is commonly known as the sex hormone. It is going to be a lot of your libido. It's going to be some parts of fatigue. It's going to be one thing that determines muscle mass. And if you are low in testosterone, if you're underneath that low range that we were talking about, then supplementing testosterone might be a really good option for you. However, it's become super common in our society to supplement testosterone when we don't actually need it. It's easy for us to be exhausted and to say, oh, I must have really low T. And in reality, less than 5% of the population has low testosterone to the extent where they should be supplementing it with their doctor. So once again, this is just a gentle reminder that you absolutely may have low testosterone. It could be you, but 95% of people, that is not you. So that's why this is always a really, really, really good thing for you to be discussing with your doctor. And if you really think that that might be one of your issues, then you should be talking to your doctor about getting your testosterone checked. So like I said, if you were to go about getting your testosterone checked and then supplemented, it's a pretty rigorous process. You would get your blood tested a few times, and then you'd probably be referred to an endocrinologist, and they would talk to you about testosterone supplementation. However, this is not done lightly because testosterone can have a lot of side effects, especially for people who are not actually deficient. Just to read off some: acne, breast enlargement, sleep apnea, fluid retention, increased risk of blood clots, decreased sperm production. Long-term use of testosterone supplementation may increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. And as soon as we start supplementing our testosterone, it's common for our natural testosterone production to go down the drain. And that's not something where as soon as you go off of testosterone, that comes back. That's gonna be gone forever. So one of the biggest lessons that I learned from one of my primary care physicians that I had is I asked him if I could test my testosterone just because I was curious. And he said to me, what would these results do? If you have low T and I put you on testosterone, you're gonna have to do that for the rest of your life. And is that something that you want to do? Because it's not like you're gonna see some magic results from going on testosterone and then you can cycle off of it and you're gonna feel great. And I decided then that I didn't want to get tested because it didn't matter. I was not going to put myself on a supplement that I was gonna have to do for the rest of my life. I would much rather go about testosterone balance in a more natural way that didn't require me to supplement. And that's not to say that you shouldn't supplement if your testosterone is super low, but I didn't have the side effects of super low testosterone, and I knew that getting those test results might just make me want to do something that I didn't really need to do. So I wanted to do this test because I've never had a testosterone test before, and because they're so common. It's so easy to get your hands on one of these, and that does beg the question of if these tests are accurate. A couple of things about testosterone: it's going to fluctuate throughout the day, so the test does suggest that you do it right away in the morning when your testosterone levels are the highest, but you would really need to take multiple tests to see if these results are even going to be consistent with that same test. So right there, we already need to be thinking about if these tests are super reliable, but ultimately, we know that in order to get an accurate testosterone result, we should be doing that in a lab at our doctor's office. Just a quick anecdote, because this was very appropriate this morning. I was listening to a podcast with Tim Ferriss and Andrew Huberman. I think they're both great. I find a lot of value from listening to their stuff, but they were talking about supplements today. And, you know, I hear this a lot from educators that they were saying, you know, you could supplement your testosterone. I'm not going to say whether you should or shouldn't do that. Like, that's up to you to decide. And I found it interesting because these people are absolutely seen as experts in their field. And if they're not going to tell you what to do for your health, who is? And I think that in this specific instance, the reason I wanted to make this video was to shine some awareness on the drawbacks of testosterone supplementation. It seems like this is going to be one of the quick fixes for us, that if we don't have a lot of energy, if we have low sex drive, if we're not gaining muscle the way that we want to look jacked, but that's just not happening for us, that we're gonna be able to inject ourselves with some testosterone, and we are going to see some magic solutions here. And the side effects of this absolutely outweigh the pros. Unless you are at an incredibly low testosterone level, supplementing your testosterone is probably not the way to go. It frustrates me when people kind of don't want to tell young people what to do, especially because I think that young people really need a little bit more guidance when it comes to what is healthy and what is going to follow you for the rest of your life. This isn't something, again, it's not like taking creatine or protein where if you were to cycle on and off of it, you're not going to see any long-lasting effects. Potentially, young people listening to this podcast and hearing you say, I don't know, I'm gonna leave it up to you if you want to dive into testosterone supplementation or not, would take that as an endorsement for it, and they could screw up their testosterone production for the rest of their lives. So I find that pretty irresponsible, and I find it really important for us to kind of not beat around the bush here. I think that testosterone supplement without consultation with your doctor is a very, very bad idea. I'd highly suggest not doing it. So, how do we go about increasing our testosterone naturally? Because I'm not saying that you increasing your testosterone won't make you feel better. I think it absolutely will. We've got 4 different ways that we can go about increasing our testosterone naturally before we resort to prescription testosterone, and I think they're gonna sound pretty familiar to you. Number 1 is exercise. Doing resistance training, lifting weights, taking care of your body in that way is going to be super important in increasing testosterone levels. There's a sweet spot here of about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. When you go past that, that is gonna raise your cortisol levels, and that is not going to be as good for testosterone production. So there's been a lot of research about like, what is the perfect workout to increase testosterone? And I don't think we have to get that granular. I think that if you are looking at your week and you are getting 3 to 4 workouts in a week, that is great. I'm very happy with that, and most likely you're hitting that testosterone potential in that category. Number 2 is a healthy diet. Yes, of course, what we eat is going to affect our testosterone levels. So you thinking about eating whole, unprocessed foods, eating a lot of protein, eating a lot of vegetables and fruit, this is gonna be huge in making sure that your body is primed to make testosterone. If you're not giving your body the building blocks that it needs, it's not going to produce this hormone, right? So you need to make sure that you are having a well-balanced diet. And once again, we're looking at it the same way as your exercise. We don't have to optimize our nutrition. We just need to take a little bit of care in how much protein we're getting, in eating some vegetables and fruits, and eating less processed foods. I should also say, and this is gonna relate to one of our other categories as well, but we should be limiting alcohol. Alcohol is going to prohibit the production of testosterone. So that's not to say that you can't drink and still have healthy testosterone levels, but we do not want to be having it in excess. Number 3, and this is one that we don't talk about super often, but it's stress management. Do you have any tools in place to manage the stress in your life? And that could look like therapy. That could look like meditation. That's my preferred stress management tool. That could look like hobbies. That could look like journaling or gratitude or any of those things. But do you have daily, consistent ways to relieve stress for yourself? Because we find that our bodies expend so much energy trying to reduce stress when we don't give it the tools to do that, right? So we want to make sure that we have those stress management tools and that we are reducing stress in our lives in order to up that testosterone level. And then lastly, and this is perhaps the most important one, is adequate sleep. Sleep is essential so that we can reset and build, send out that testosterone, and us getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night is not going to be a prime environment to have optimal testosterone levels. So really focusing on consistent sleep, not just, like you have 4 days a week where you get really good sleep, but then 3 days a week where you have horrible sleep, right? Trying to get as consistent as possible with your sleep is gonna be super important. And this is where that alcohol comes in as well. Alcohol severely affects your sleep. And so if you are drinking regularly, even if it's 1 to 2 drinks before bed, that is still going to affect your sleep quality. So we want to make sure that we are limiting that as much as possible if we are really trying to optimize our testosterone production. Here's the thing, there are going to be times when you focusing on these 4 things is not going to increase your testosterone levels into normal ranges. That is when you should be talking to your doctor, and that is when you should potentially be supplementing your T, right? But if you are looking at these 4 things and you're saying, well, I've got 2 of them down and 2 of them I don't give a f about. Most likely, these are the areas that are really holding you back from optimizing your testosterone. And like I said, finding optimal testosterone naturally is going to make you feel great. It's gonna allow you to hit those fitness goals, look how you wanna look. It's gonna give you energy and libido and all that, but doing it naturally is the way to go instead of trying to supplement right away. Okay, so what am I gonna do with these results? Absolutely nothing. It's good for me to know, you know, I am in a normal range for testosterone. I'm not going to be changing anything that I'm doing because these 4 things that I talked about are all things that are part of sustainable health. I'm not going to stop exercising. I'm not gonna stop focusing on my nutrition. I'm not going to stop stress management tools, and I'm not gonna stop trying to emphasize sleep. So I don't really have to worry about my testosterone tests unless I were to see some very, very wild changes in my behaviors and in my energy levels, in which case I would talk to my doctor and we would decide together what the next step is. I highly, highly recommend that you put the blinders on when you're on social media and you hear people talking about supplementing their T. It's an easy solution that has a lot of negative side effects. So I think the mature thing to do, I think the safe thing to do is to just focus on that testosterone production naturally. Thanks for watching, y'all.